Well, hello everyone. It's Tyler Ford here, Tucson, Arizona, eXp Realty, and welcome to Living in Tucson, your Tucson real estate connection, where each and every month I do the Tucson monthly home inventory market update, where we dive in. I've been tracking home inventory levels for about a year and a half, and we log into the MLS and we plug in some numbers to an Excel spreadsheet so you can get a visual. In my opinion, home inventory is the leading indicator. Economics 101, supply and demand. And although we've seen supply go up, home inventory go up by more than 50%, inventory levels, in my opinion, are still relatively low for home values to start to come down. And I'm going to go over a few things, but the big thing for me is somewhat surprised. You know, a lot of people are thinking this market's going to pull back, which I agree. It has slightly, but it hasn't been significant because home inventory levels and the supply hasn't gone up enough in order to drive prices down. So that's what I'm keeping an eye on. And before we dive on into the home inventory numbers, I like to go over a few things. So I'm going to share my screen here and go over a few things. The first thing I like to start out with is interest rates, which has been driving the market, drastically slowing things down. And I'm going to show you in terms of volume how slow it's actually been in terms of unit sales. But rates have pulled back a little bit. The highs have been, the high is 7.08. We've pulled back about 0.7% since. So we're sitting at 6.31 on a 30-year fixed. And on a 15-year, we're sitting at 5.54. So rates since the beginning of the year, the Feds have been aggressively raising rates. This is the most aggressive the Feds have been in the history in terms of the slope of the curve, in terms of what they've done. And they've definitely slowed down the housing market, but we're getting a little bit of pullback when it comes to rates, which is good. The other thing that I want to point out, and again, if anybody's got any questions or comments, you can go ahead and comment, and towards the end, I will do my best to answer. So if you've got any questions or comments, put them in the comment section. The other thing that I want to point out, and somebody last month had this question, it's a great question in terms of what does closed sales, what does the volume look like? And again, this is as slow as it's been in a long time. And in a normal, healthy market, as you can see, we're usually about 1,000 to maybe 1,400, 1,500 units closed each and every month in the MLS. And last month, so in November, for the Tucson Housing Market Report, there were a total of 628 units sold in terms of single family homes, and then townhomes and condos 87. So you can see right here the slope. I mean, things have dramatically dropped off. So a little bit surprised that home values haven't pulled back more. But again, home inventory, we haven't seen a significant rise, although we've seen it increase, not enough in order, in my opinion, for home values to really pull back significantly. So that's the news. And now what I'd like to do is I'm logged into the MLS. And so each and every month we log into the MLS, we take a look at inventory, and then we plug it into an Excel spreadsheet. So I've already plugged in some numbers. If they've changed a little bit, we will tweak them. So logged into the MLS, we've got Tucson pulled up, single family homes. There are 1,597 single family homes. You can see that number right there. Townhomes, there are a total of 152 townhomes listed currently in the MLS. Manufactured homes, we've got a total of 112 manufactured homes. And then condos, currently there are 114 condos listed in the MLS. Now I'm going to pull up an Excel spreadsheet and we will plug in some numbers. So this morning I did it, so it's increased slightly. So 1,597 for single family homes. For manufactured homes, 112, it's the same. For condos, 114. And then for townhomes, 152. So if you look here, inventory levels from last month to this month have actually gone down by 125 units. So last month we had a total of 1,800, or I'm sorry, 1,948. This month, 1,823. So we're down 125 units. And if you look at when I started doing this, I just felt this market was starting to shift. Inventory levels have increased by 59%. This year, we've gone up 55% for a total change of so month to month, we've gone down by 6%. And if you look at the chart, you can see here, when I started tracking this, I felt things were starting to change. And then again, we've seen inventory levels in double, but again, they haven't increased enough in order for home values to pull back significantly, in my opinion. The other thing that I like to look at, and if we pull up Zillow, because in the MLS, I just have Tucson, but we're going to look at Zillow, which is Tucson and the surrounding areas. And if you look at Zillow right now, there's 232,234 active listings. And then the other thing that I like to look at is the other, which is the 282. That is for sale by owner. So we'll jump over to Zillow, plug that in. I did it again this morning. So that's changed by one listing. And then 282. So again, same thing here. We've gone down from month to month by about 164 listings. So inventory levels actually declined. Something to just think about in December. December is usually a very light month in terms of people wanting to list their homes because of the holidays. And then we typically get a big surge in January, February. So from a seasonality standpoint, it's not abnormal for there not to be more listings at the end of November during Thanksgiving, and then also through the holidays through Christmas. The other thing that I want to point out is, again, we've seen a slight pullback in terms of home values, but nothing significant. So when the report came out for November, the Tucson Housing Market Report, the median home sales price was $375,525. So year to date, we have seen a 6.8% appreciation rate. But if you look at the appreciation, it came from the first of the year up until the high of June, which in my opinion, I said May, June, I thought was going to be the top end of this market. And so far, that's proven to be the case. So in a normal, healthy market, normal appreciation rates are anywhere from 4 to 6, maybe 8% in a good year. And over the last couple of years, we've seen double-digit appreciation rates. So this year, we're going to end up being in probably, based on what December numbers do, my guess is it's going to be about the same, just because we haven't had a huge surge of inventory. So we're going to finish out the year at about a 6.8%, maybe 7% appreciation rate, which is typically a normal appreciating market. And then you can look here and see, this is the chart of when I started doing this. Home values, as everybody knows, just crazy tear, double digit over the last couple years. And again, it has everything to do with supply and demand. So that is it in terms of the inventory levels. The other thing that I like to point out, if you're one to want to geek out on the numbers, I would encourage you to head on over to Tucson Homes and Lots. And again, each and every month I do the full report. And if you go scroll down on my homepage, if you click on the Tucson Monthly Market Update, if you click on that button, I do an update. I've got a blog post. I do an update video. And then if you scroll down, you're going to see a link at the bottom here, where if you click on this link right here, it's going to pull up the full report. If you want to geek out on the numbers, I would encourage you to head on over to my market report. A couple other things to consider, and then I'm going to take a look at any questions or comments we've got, is that, in my opinion, I think people right now, there's a lot of people that are what I call rate locked, where they bought a home and, interest rates have been historically low for a long time, where you could have locked in at 2.75%, 3% on a 30-year fixed. Now interest rates have more than doubled, and people, in my opinion, are rate locked, where they don't want to get off that rate. And then if they go buy something else, home values are more expensive. And on top of that, they've got to pay a much higher rate. So people are just staying put because, in my opinion, again, they're rate locked. So one of two things need to happen in order for home values to start to come down. Inventory levels need to go up. And then interest rates, inventory levels go up to pull home values back. And then also interest rates coming down will bring back affordability and bring people back into the market. So, I wish I had a crystal ball in terms of when that would happen. But again, it's just right now, home values, if you're a seller out there, it's still a great time to sell, because I do think at the end of the day, we're still going to see another maybe 10, 15, 20% pullback in terms of home values. But again, it's why I keep an eye on inventory levels, because it's all about supply and demand economics 101. So I'm going to jump on over and yep. So Bill, just exactly what I said. People don't want to leave their 3% interest rate. So I'm going over the comments. And again, yeah, people are rate locked, in my opinion. They don't want to give up that rate for a rate that's twice the amount. Rents have gone up too, but they're also starting to soften and pull back. So something's got to give. At some point, there's going to be a catalyst that's gonna change some things and get things going again. But right now, things are rate locked, and then also, as I showed you, the last month's just closed transactions. I mean, it's as low as it's been. So another question, Robert here. Let's see here. Do you track types of sales such as foreclosures versus short sales? That I don't do. I mean, there's a way to track it. What I'm tracking is just what is put out each and every month through the association in terms of the monthly market report. Maybe the next one I'll do a little bit more research, because there is some analytics in order to track that. I do know foreclosures are starting to go up. We are starting to see short sales. So this market is definitely starting to shift. But as we see inventory, again, to me, the leading indicator is inventory levels. We've got to still see inventory levels go up for this market to pull back. And then Robert's got a question. Is there a city ordinance or any type of zoning that is preventing inventory from increasing, in your opinion? Yeah, actually, there was just a city ordinance put out. And if you go over to, let me go back to my website. And if you go to Homes and Lots, if you go to blog post, they just put out city ordinance, not just, but it's been a while. Let me see if I can find it. Or actually, if you go to my YouTube channel, I did a video on ADU. It's called Auxiliary Dwelling Unit, and the city of Tucson approved that regardless of your zoning. So it used to be if you had like an R2 lot, that meant that you could put another unit on it. And the city made an ordinance change that said, regardless of your zoning, trying to find it here. So right here, regardless of your zoning, the city will now allow you to put what is called an ADU on your property and build another unit to help the inventory shortage. So it was all about helping the inventory shortage where there wasn't a whole lot of inventory. So people could come in and put in another unit regardless of your zoning in order to help the inventory crunch. So I don't know if that answered your question. It's not coming up, but if you go over to my stream, or my YouTube channel, you'll see if you just search for ADU, it's freezing up here. Sorry. If you search for ADU, you'll see that. So in terms of inventory levels, yeah, it could be preventing people from wanting to list and sell because ADUs are starting to pop up in order to help the inventory shortage. Uh, so I hope that answered your question. It was kind of it's the one city ordinance in terms of zoning that's changed lately that could be making an impact on inventory levels. So with that, I like to keep it short and sweet. I appreciate people jumping on. Have a happy holiday. I'll be back next month with my market update and then also inventory levels. But again, come January, February, people typically wait throughout the holidays to list. And then come first of the year, listings typically go up because they don't want to list during the holidays. So look for January and February if you're a buyer out there, for there to be more properties on the market and a whole lot more to choose from. So Bill says, thanks, really appreciate it, Bill. Yeah, thanks for jumping on. And if anybody's got any suggestions or comments, you can go back on YouTube and things that you want to see, or just any questions or comments, you can go back to this live video on YouTube, and love to hear from you. In the meantime, make it a great day and have a happy holiday.